Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video, I will be discussing my top 5 favorite indicators. These are the ones I primarily use and I found to be most reliable when day trading. For anyone who is unaware of what indicators are, they serve as signals to enter or exit trades. So basically, they're clues that will help you with knowing the accurate time to buy or sell. Alright, so jumping right into it, you guys can see that I have Tesla pulled up on the chart, and I actually have it set to the 1 year, 1 day time frame, just to kind of give you guys an overview of what it looked like in the past year in terms of how the stock fluctuated. Now, you also see here at the bottom that I have volume pulled up. Now, volume is an indicator that kind of goes without saying, so I won't focus on it too heavily in this video, but I definitely wanted to show you guys essentially what that looked like over the past year, just to kind of give you an idea of what we're going to jump into first, which is going to be the MACD. At this point, what I'll go ahead and do is hit the time frame, and I'm going to drop it down to the 1 day, 1 minute. And then from here, I'm going to focus on today's date, which is March 27th. And you guys will see what took place from the start of the stock opening to the closing. So first things first, you're going to go ahead and locate your indicators by clicking one of two things. You can either click here for Edit Studies, and it'll pop right up. And then you'll see your studies, strategies, and sets. Or you can click on Studies, go down to Edit Studies, and then you'll see the same thing. So I always click on this little beaker icon to just get straight to it. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and type in MACD. I'm going to double click it, and you will see that it appears under the lower tab. And this is just telling us that it'll appear under volume when we look at it on the stock chart. So with that, go ahead and you can click this gear icon, and now you will see the length of time that you can set your MACD to be. And you can be any time frame that you would want it to be in. And then you can also click if you want it to be simple, exponential, or weighted. And then you can scroll down if you want to change the color. You can choose from any variations here. And if you want more options, you just simply click that and choose whatever color you would want it to be set to. So I'm going to leave it at the default just for this video. And then I'm going to click OK. Now, in order to make sure that this is applied, you have to literally click that button, apply, and then simply hit OK. And now you will see the MACD is one of the indicators here underneath volume on the stock chart. Now, if you want to know more detail about specifically what MACD is, again, I'm going to make a separate video for all these indicators. This video is just to show you what I would use as my top 5 favorites, okay? So now I'll go ahead and start to discuss the next indicator, which is going to be Bollinger Bands. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the beaker icon to edit the study. And you guys will see MACD is still here. I'm going to hit remove all so that we have a clear chart. I'm going to go ahead and type in Bollinger. And you guys will see that there are a few options for Bollinger Bands. There's the crossover, the bandwidth, and the percent. Now, I will make a more detailed video explaining what these are and the differences. But for today's video, we're just going to click on the standard Bollinger Bands. We're going to go ahead and click the gear icon to edit. And you guys can see that you can change the length, and then the standard deviation can also be changed as well. I know that some stock traders like to click on VWAP or volume. Even open interest could be helpful. So you can choose to do whatever you like. I'm going to keep it at close just for example purposes. And then again, you can also have it for simple, exponential, or weighted. And then if you scroll down here at the bottom, you will see that the midline, the lower band, and the upper band all will be 3 different colors. And again, you can customize this to change it to what you would want it to be. I'm going to leave it as the standards that have already been set. Click OK. I'm going to click Apply, and then OK again. So this is where everyone seems to kind of get confused when they look at stock charts, when they see these lines and it looks like a kindergartner pretty much drew on them, and it's like, this doesn't make sense. Don't feel like you're the only one to see this and kind of be confused. I'm going to explain in detail what these lines mean and how they're helpful to enter or exit a trade. I'm going to zoom in just really quick so you guys can see that today around 11:42, 11:43, we had a high interest of volume. Guys can see that here, right? So that means something. I want you to take a look at where you see the top line is for this particular time of the day, and then look at the midline. Okay, you guys take a look at these things that are happening. This is going to be something I go into detail a little bit more later on in this video, but I just wanted to show you how I set up the Bollinger Band to be an indicator for me as well. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at my top favorite indicator, which is going to be RSI. So I'm going to click on the beaker, and then of course we're going to go ahead and remove the Bollinger Bands. Now, as a new trader, or if you're a beginner trader, I do sometimes see people make the mistake of literally typing in relative strength, and then they see this and believe, okay, well, RSI stands for relative strength index, so this must be the indicator I should use. Now I'm going to double click it, but this again will not be the correct one. So I'm going to hit apply, hit OK, and you guys can see we don't see anything that's telling us about the range or the 70 and the 30 and, you know, high and low RSI. We don't see that on this one because this is not the correct one. So I'm going to go back to studies. We're going to go ahead and remove it. And you literally have to type in RSI in order to get that particular indicator to pop up. So don't be confused if you type in relative strength and you get something else. Type in actual RSI. So I'm going to double click that. On this little gear icon, of course, you guys know we can edit for the length of time. And then you can decide if you want the overbought to be higher than 70 or lower than 70. And you can do the same thing for oversold. Same thing for price, you can change it. I know VWAP is pretty popular. And then you can do the average type, of course. Again, you can always change the colors if you want these to look different. Anything as far as signals, if you want them to look different as well, completely can be customizable. Okay, so for this video, again, I'm just going to keep everything standard, hit OK, and then hit apply. So now we see the RSI is now underneath volume. And of course, the volume and RSI, like I said in the previous video, they go hand in hand. So what I'm going to do is quickly zoom in so you guys can see. Now, I previously mentioned about the 1142, 1143 time frame. As you guys can see, there was a very high interest in volume, right? So we also see that down here, the RSI was very high. It was well above 70. So that's the biggest clue, the biggest indicator that, again, what goes up must come down. And as you can see, the stock did just that, okay? It rose above 70 for RSI. That's giving you a clue that it's not going to stay there forever because it can't keep rising, so it eventually dropped down, and we can see that's what happened throughout the time, and then, of course, all the way up until the beginning part of lunch when it got very, very low, and then it pretty much consolidated for the remainder of the day. Next on the list will be the exponential moving average, also known as EMA. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that studies icon again, and we're going to remove, and I'm going to type in EXP. Now you will see that they have the exponential deviation bands, they have the ribbon, and they have the probability of expiring cone. Again, I'll make a separate video kind of detailing what these things mean and how they function, but for today we're just going to focus on the standard EMA. I'm going to double click it, click the gear icon once again. Now this is where you will see the link. Oftentimes you will see like veteran stock traders and people who've been doing this for a while, they're going to simply focus on the 20 or 21 day EMA. Okay, so I'm going to do that as well for this video. Again, you can customize coloring and all that as much as you would want to. Hit OK, and then I'm also going to hit apply. So now we can see that for today, the EMA, this is going to be a pretty good example. What I'm going to do is show you guys around here. So remember that movement oscillates around the EMA. So let's take a look at what happened around 10:45 today. We can pretty much see that the price touched the EMA and went slightly above it. I wouldn't have entered this trade until receiving a second touch point, or at least a third that was made with the high volume. And that's just pretty much backing that that would be a good trade to make because it did go ahead and have it touch the EMA and it rose above it. So we know that for sure can be an indicator. So I would have waited till around maybe like 11:07. You guys can see this high interest in volume. And I would have rolled the wave up just before lunchtime. You guys can see this would have been a good clue to hop in on this trade around 11:07 and kind of just ride it up until lunchtime. Okay, I would have put it in a play for calls. Okay, so speaking of the midday point, when the price pretty much fell under the 21 EMA, it can be a clue to put in for puts. So let's look at around 11:51. So that's going to be around here. 1151, 1152, you guys can see that the price fell below the EMA. So you can see the price is here. This blue line is that EMA. The price is below it. So that can kind of give you a clue that you should probably put in for puts. Again, don't just rely on one indicator only. Make sure you have at least 2 to 3. Now, I only have this one indicator on the screen now, but if I would have had all the other indicators, that would have kind of gave me a clue that it's probably a good idea to put in for puts. So we can see at around this mark, it kind of rose down. And again, it wouldn't have been like huge significant as far as like making profits unless you decided to put in a bunch of plays for this. But you can see this is a good example of that EMA and then of course the price being under it. Okay, so just see, let me zoom it in. You guys can see it a little bit better when it falls below it. Okay, so this would be again beginner friendly because you would be able to make, you know, at least some profit from understanding that you should have put in a play for puts. Okay, so that is going to be the exponential moving average, the EMA. Last but certainly not least, we will go ahead and jump into the stochastic. So I'm going to go ahead and type that in. And you guys will see there are a ton of options that you have. They have the smooth stochastic, they have crossover, fast, full, the MACD, slow. For this video, I'm going to go ahead and focus on a stochastic crossover. I'm going to click the gear icon once again to show you guys. Now, with the stochastic, you can choose to have it set for the crossing type to be overbought or oversold. You can also choose the mode to either be fast or slow. Totally your choice. And then the time period, same thing. And you can choose the colors to be customized to what you would want as well. So for this, I'm going to go ahead and hit OK, and I'm going to show you guys what it would look like if it was just signaling for overbought. Apply. You guys see these blue arrows are going to indicate that the stock is overbought at this particular time, okay? And you guys can see volume is dictating that as well. It's kind of helping coincide with what you see. So let's say you also want to know what it would look like if it's oversold. You can literally type it in and have more than one. So don't feel like you just have to have one indicator up. You guys can choose to do more than one. So now for this one, I'm going to do oversold, hit OK, and then apply. And now you will see the blue arrows are telling us that it's been overbought. The white arrows are telling us that it's oversold. As a matter of fact, let me change it so that you guys can see this in red. Kind of makes it better. Okay, so now you guys see the red arrows are telling us that it's oversold. Okay, so you see the up and down trends of these. And once you learn how to pretty much use this indicator in combination with any of the other 4 that I mentioned, that will help you understand pretty much the entry and exit points for a stock as far as buying and selling. But that'll be pretty much it for this video. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in my next one.